You testified, and the administration testified in support of the Waxman-Markey bill, and I'd just like to know your scientific underpinning for supporting the provision that treated biogenic carbon emissions off as if they were oil or gas when used in the production of renewable energy.
Sir, I recently wrote a letter saying that we believe that there's only limited climate impacts through to the combustion of certain biomass.
Now, that's interesting because the scientists at the State University of New York College of Environmental Science and Forestry contend that woody biomass is a substantial CO2 neutral renewable resource that can be used as a fuel for a variety of sustainable, environmentally sound energy applications. Do you disagree with that finding?
No, Mr. Walden, what I said is that I substantially agree that we need additional science because it may well be that many sources of biomass are neutral when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions.
Do you think that there's a difference between woody biomass that is used for renewable energy that's produced on private, state, or county land versus that comes off federal land?
So I don't know what the difference would be except its source. Or it would depend on the type of biomass.
But if it were the same tree source, right? If you got a fir tree on one side of the line...
Scientifically, there's no difference on whose land the tree...
Right. So that's what perplexed me about your support for the Waxman-Markey bill that said woody biomass off federal land was different than the woody biomass off other lands when used to create renewable energy. It's a flaw. Now, and you're back to the biomass issue because in the Taylor, a lot of us wrote you in a bipartisan way asking you to not move forward with the rule on biomass, in the tailoring rules of effective biomass. You responded and said you're going to delay this for a couple of years. Now, the practical impact in a district like mine is we've got a lot of people who want to invest in new high-tech biomass facilities to turn woody biomass into renewable energy. They're concerned that you're going to come back in 2013 or later on with a rule that treats biomass as if it were coal or oil. Can you give us any indication that you won't do that?
I do know, sir, that the American Forest Products Association hailed the decision to defer for 3 years to get the science, like the science you mentioned, to show the carbon neutrality of biomass fuels.
But I want to get to my question. I know what they said. I know what I said. I was glad, except I think we create this delay process where you're stifling investment. You know, the president wants to see $2 trillion in private sector investment come off the shelves and get invested. It's rules like this that are causing people trying to make those decisions to wait because they don't know what your agency is going to do in a couple of years that might affect them if they make that investment today. Because you could go back into the new source performance standards, could you not, and say, no, actually, we are going to regulate the burning of woody biomass as if it were...
I support the delay to get the best science, sir, to give scientists a chance to do the studies to determine how best to deal with biomass and to determine whether all biomass is created the same. It was a delay to reduce
So you can't give us any
uncertainty.
certainty. So we are on delay for a couple of years.